Hey everybody, welcome back to Grain Markets and Other Stuff. Thank you for joining me. It is Thursday, March 25th as I speak here today. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for listening on the podcast. Leave me a review if you have not already. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done that already, that would really help me out in regard to YouTube. Really love to see these videos get spread around a little bit more. If you need some additional assistance from me, go to my website. It is www.standardgrain.com. Go to that website, click on Grain Marketing Plan here in the upper right-hand corner. For $49 a month, I offer a subscription service. It includes a whole bunch of stuff. You'll get my morning email, which goes out every business day at 6:30 a.m. Central Time. You'll get my text message service. You'll be made aware of a whole bunch of stuff, all the overnight headlines that are important, any grain marketing recommendations that I've thrown out there, a whole bunch of interesting stuff regarding spreads, capture and carry. I mean, you name it when it comes to grain marketing, it's included here. Something that I've started doing recently are subscriber only videos and additional content. Here's an example of one that I sent out just this morning. This was regarding capture and carry in the winter wheat market. And this was, to be honest, one of my less popular videos as of late. I think I've just got more corn and soybean growers in the customer base than I do winter wheat growers. But in any case, this is very useful information. This is real stuff that can help to improve your grain marketing. These are very rarely do I do a whole lot of like opinion-based stuff. Like I think the market has to go here. I think the market has to go there. I try to do some things that can help you to fundamentally improve your grain marketing, and that's kind of my goal. So if you have questions about any of this, let me know, but certainly check out that subscription service. I think it would be worth your while. The discussion today, a very brief discussion, is going to be regarding the drought situation here in the United States ahead of spring plantings. And I'm going to run through just the U.S. government drought monitor and their maps to give you an idea as to where we stand ahead of spring plantings here. The first map I've got on my screen here is a good old-fashioned drought monitor that everybody throws around. What you can see here is that, a lot of the Midwest, the Corn Belt, is drought-free right now, but there are some exceptions. This northern area of Indiana, northwest Ohio, southern Michigan, you've got a pocket there that's very dry. Northwest Iowa is still problematic. Your big problem right now is the Dakotas. North Dakota and South Dakota have seen little to no precipitation for weeks and weeks and weeks. Western Nebraska has improved a little bit, but still dry out there. So there are some issues here. Certainly, we've got some issues, but we've also got a lot of good stuff. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is break this down by crop, and USDA actually does this every week as part of the drought monitor. And I'm going to run through corn, soybeans, and spring wheat and winter wheat. We're going to skip over barley here. If you're interested in barley, I'll send you these maps. But this is corn areas in drought. And what you can see here if you're watching on YouTube, the green area, the dark green areas are your biggest corn growing areas. Light green are minor corn areas, that's how USDA phrases it. And then red is drought. And you can see where the red meets the green. Those are your corn areas that are in the midst of some sort of drought right now. USDA says approximately 20% of U.S. corn production is within an area experiencing drought. Now, that 20% is a number that's come down quite a bit recently, and they actually track it in one of their charts here. That number was as high as 39% back in October, and it's trickled down to 20%, largely because we've seen a lot of improvements in the southern plains, in the western corn belt. Those sorts of areas have seen improvement here as of late. So 20%, grand scheme of things, is really not that bad. There's no such thing as a perfect growing season. I would say that we're headed into spring corn planting here in really pretty good conditions. We've got the potential for a big crop, certainly. There are problem areas. Again, the Dakotas are problematic. There are some other problematic pockets, but in general, 20% being abnormally dry or in some stage of drought is probably not extreme by any means. Cotton areas, I'm going to skip over that again. If you want these charts, let me know. Peanut areas, I'm going to skip over that. I'm just scrolling through the file here, guys, if you're listening. The next one we'll get to here is, I'll talk sorghum real quick. Sorghum, 41% of sorghum production is within an area experiencing drought. Your big sorghum producing areas are Kansas, like a lot of Kansas into a little bit of eastern Colorado, Texas Panhandle, big sorghum area in some of those pockets. And there's quite a bit of drought there. So you've got some issues here with sorghum, but some of those areas have seen some improvement as well. And in regard to sorghum, they had 77% of sorghum areas were within some stage of drought in late November, and that number's declined to 41%. So yeah, 41 still high, but it's a lot better than 77 where it was, say, 4 or 5 months ago. Let's get into soybeans here. USDA says 18% of soybean production in the U.S. is within an area experiencing drought, and it's these same problematic pockets that we're seeing in corn. Northern Indiana, Northwest Ohio, Southern Michigan, Northwest Iowa, the Dakotas, Western Nebraska is problematic. The western area, far western areas of the Southern Plains are problematic. So pretty similar to corn here. And that soybean number has come down. It peaked at 31% back as recently as December. 31% of soybean areas were in a drought. We're now down to 18. So we're improving there as well, just like we are in corn. I'm going to skip over sunflowers. I'm going to skip over durum wheat. Let's get to spring wheat. This is perhaps the most interesting one. 78% of spring wheat production is within an area experiencing drought, and that's a number that continues to climb. This is the highest it's been, and the reason being is that you've got pretty much all of your spring wheat area, or a very good chunk of it, in North Dakota, a little bit in that northwest area of Minnesota, Montana. Those areas have been drought-stricken for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks with very, very little relief in sight. So you've got a problem here with spring wheat. Absolutely. 78% is a big number. It's going to get worse too if this morning's weather forecasts are any signal. So this spring wheat deal does not look real good ahead of plantings. That's the one crop that I'd say is very, very problematic right now in regard to this data. Winter wheat areas experiencing drought, 24%, and that's down from 50% where they peaked back in October. So you've seen continued improvement in your key winter wheat areas. Kansas, southern Nebraska, Oklahoma, Texas Panhandle, those areas. Your SRW areas are pretty clean for the most part, aside from that same pocket in northern Indiana, northwest Ohio, southern Michigan. But for the most part, I mean, winter wheat's seen a pretty big improvement here. So grand scheme of things here, I mean, corn and soybeans, 20% and 18% respectively of those areas experiencing a drought. I don't think that's a major cause for concern. Winter wheat's improved drastically. Spring wheat is your major problem here as we move forward. Guys, this is all publicly available data from USDA. I figured I'd run through it with you. If you want the link to this, let me know. I'll actually drop the link in the YouTube video now that I think about it, if you want to pull up this PDF file and look at it for yourself. Everyone have a great day today. I will talk to you tomorrow morning.